And thanks for joining us. Tonight, the details of Operation Shadowbox, a dramatic sting operation that uncovered a weapons and drug trafficking ring in El Cajon and revealed a criminal connection between the Chaldean community in East San Diego and the Mexican Mafia.
Federal agents say they've taken down a drug and weapons trafficking ring. It has ties to San Diego's Iraqi community and a major Mexican drug cartel. El Cajon police say the group operated from a Chaldean social club on East Main Street. 60 people associated with the club have been arrested. Police say the suspects were selling drugs, guns, and improvised explosive devices, and they were also connected to the Chaldean organized crime syndicate.
This syndicate began in the early 80s in Detroit, Michigan. Crimes associated with the syndicate include murder, arson, weapons, narcotics trafficking, money laundering, counterfeiting, racketeering, alien smuggling, and armed robbery. Chaldean organized crime has historical ties to the Sinaloa cartel and the Mexican Mafia.
Police say the suspects got grenades from someone in the Mexican military.
As you just heard, police uncovered a major weapons and drug ring in El Cajon. This was not your typical drug bust in San Diego County. And here to tell us why is Tony Perry, San Diego bureau chief for the LA Times. Thanks, Tony, for being here.
My pleasure.
So police revealed a connection between a group of Iraqi Chaldeans and a Mexican drug cartel. Tell us about the Chaldean community in El Cajon.
Sure. These are the Iraqi Christians. They've been immigrating here legally and illegally for some period of time, 20 to 30,000 in eastern San Diego County, mostly El Cajon. Second largest Chaldean community in America, biggest one being in Detroit. And what this investigation undercover found was a connection between organized crime in Detroit, the Chaldeans, and a small group of Chaldeans here in El Cajon, and both connected to the Sinaloa drug cartel from Mexico. Very complex, very shocking, big numbers, 60 arrests, $630,000 of cash, found 34 weapons, 3 luxury automobiles, all sorts of booty from this, and it was shocking.
It seemed to start, too, from what police are saying a social club in El Cajon. Tell us about that.
Social club, 811 East Main Street. Now, this is where it becomes, well, shocking, not surprising. This place has been busted several times over the last decade for car theft, gambling, drugs. It's almost like if you want to bust somebody for something illegal, you go to 811 East Main Street in El Cajon. This is the biggest one of all. It's where the folks hang out. Now, let's say it like it is. This is a slender number of a very large, law-abiding, prosperous in many ways community. What has happened here, while it is centric to this community, doesn't reflect on the larger community at all, I think.
You described a little bit the Chaldean community in El Cajon, Iraqi Christians. We know that over a number of years have come to America, other countries, as some of them as refugees. Do we know if the people that were arrested, are they first generation, second generation, American-born, young people?
Well, we know they're young, and it's going to take a while before that kind of information shakes out during the prosecutions, 30 of which I believe are going to occur in federal court, 30 in state court. What we also don't quite know yet, are they small fry in a larger conspiracy that is ongoing, or are they minor or even mid-level players? We're going to have to find this out. The police chief of El Cajon says the investigation is continuing. I think he seems to be a realist, that one strike, as it were, even the big one with 60 arrests and a lot of money and a lot of weapons and a lot of drugs, doesn't cut the head off of a snake that's been purveying drugs in this community and this country for some period of time.
Let's talk about weapons, because we started off by saying this is different than other drug busts. And what really stands out in this bust, IEDs.
Improvised explosive devices, those things that are buried in the ground and are blowing up beneath Humvees and killing American service personnel in Iraq and Afghanistan. Where were these going? Three of them apparently found among the weaponry. Who were they going to sell them to? What were they going to use them for? That's the kind of thing we all want to know, and it'll be part of the prosecution. One tantalizing, scarifying fact that came out of the press conference the other day was that one of the undercover agents was offered to buy a grenade from someone who said, oh, I can get a whole bunch of them from the Mexican army. Very scary. if that's occurring, and I want to see more information of that as the prosecutions ensue. A lot more to know about this, a lot more to know about how this relates to the Mexican Sinaloa cartel, also the Chaldeans in Detroit. We are only at the beginning of this story.
Tony Perry, San Diego Bureau Chief for the LA Times, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.